Jay, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, wow. So there was a couple of things that I had in mind, and they were all influenced by different things, which is quite hilarious. So one of the things that I desperately wanted to be was I wanted to be a vet. So, and that was influenced by my father, who had an absolute love of nature and really encouraged me to observe and watch the natural world. But unfortunately, I was dyslexic at the time, and that meant that things like physics and chemistry, which you needed as prerequisites, were just not a go. So I also really loved art, and I actually started my teaching career as an art teacher. So I really loved getting messy, especially involved with things like ceramics.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then I went through another stage after, and this is dating me, watching the movie Backdraft about firefighters, and I desperately wanted to be a firefighter. So.
Nice. There are all very different elements into what made you up. And so how did you then take all of those things and now end up where you are, right? Because obviously the creativity flair comes through. You couldn't hide that one. We could see that one a mile away. How did you end up here?
Oh man, it's really the full. I'll try and give you the condensed version.
Yeah.
As I said, very much an undiagnosed dyslexic as a child,
Yeah.
and this was before dyslexia was a thing. So
Mm-hmm.
my mum knew something was up, and she put me through all sorts of testing because just learning wasn't happening. And I still remember one of the tests that came back said, "Oh, Jay's got a comprehension level 2 years above where he currently is." But his writing ability is 2 years behind. So there was this 4 year gap, and it just crushed me.
Yeah.
So it meant that that academic side of things, I just was not good at because it required, before the WWW, everything to be written down, and I just could not do that.
Mhm.
So after I graduated, the two areas that I was quite strong in were biology, mainly because of the practicals, and visual arts.
Mhm.
So I studied visual arts part-time and then full-time for 5 years, but I also did a lot of youth work, especially with churches at the time. So once I completed my advanced diploma in arts, I then thought, oh, maybe I'll go somewhere and do some community service work. I got offered a position with a church in South Australia. I went down there and I started also working after school care because I still love just engaging with young people. And I remember my girlfriend at the time said, what are you doing with all of this, after school care work? I was explaining, I said, I love it. It's really great. I enjoy it so much. And at this stage, I had started studying school counselling because I thought I'm not good enough to be a teacher, but maybe I could do school counselling. And she looked at me and said, why aren't you studying teaching? I said,
Mhm.
my spelling's terrible. And it's still to this day, makes me very nervous when I've got to write things down. I said, my spelling's terrible. I couldn't, possibly stand in front of a group of kids and write things on a board. And she just rolled her eyes and looked at me and said, Jay, how hard is it to spell cat or dog? So, and oh, maybe. And from that point there, within 2 weeks, I switched my course from school counselling to education, and I graduated within 3.5 years. So that was that progression, and now that's led into a whole lot of things to the point now where I'm a lead teacher for Alba International School.
That story makes my heart so happy. Thank you. I'm so glad that we sort of drilled down into that a little bit more. I'm so thankful to your girlfriend for, calling you out on that, and high five. I'm so glad that you're a teacher. My next question is, if you had one superpower, what would it be?
Oh man, I thought about this a lot. And I have got this terrible habit of rumination. We talked about different sides to the same coin. And when I'm ruminating really well, I love thinking about, I could do this and I could do that and plan, and all of those ideas branch out like a network of roots from a tree. But the flip side is when you get stuck on something negative, oh man, and I really have a terrible habit of ruminating. So if I had a superpower to be the rumination man, just taking my headspace out and inserting it into not even someone, something that looks happy. So whether it's a bird sitting on a wire, we can swap places for a while. And I'd be happy to do that for anyone that had the same problem. Just that instant swap with someone else or something else,
Yep.
just to really get that calm space. and then, okay, yeah, I think I'm ready to go back now.
Yeah. Rumination, man, I love it. I think there's a tagline there. But also I think that there is power in both of those things as well, right? Because you recognize it. So you kind of have that power. So good on you. You're already there. You're like they walk among us. And lastly, what is your favorite thing or what do you love most about Canvas?
Well, I'm going to put it down to two things because one is for me and one is for the students. And I've talked about both of those things. So the thing that I love about Canvas is just the amount of data that you can pull up and really drill down to. It's one thing when students say something, it's another thing when you can really see it in numbers and you can see those trends. So I really do love that because it's a real, for me, sense of validation. Like a good example is I had one student who on average was going through about 200 page views per week. And I know that that can be on, off, but we're getting about that for all of our coursework. And then when we really started ramping up gamification, she exploded into over 1,000 page views per week while we were doing it. So to be able to see that and see where she was looking and what she was doing and the tasks that she was completing really gave us just fabulous, not only information, validation for what we were doing, and we knew that we were making a difference for her. So the other thing that I love is the structure for students to share their work and ideas and comment meaningfully on it as well. Like, again, that's just something that the kids have really grown to love and I really value because they really see it as a source of pride to not only get their work up, but then to look at other people and go, oh, how are they doing it? And then commenting, I love what you did. So we'll often set up, once you put up your work, go and find two other people's pieces of work that you really like or see something in it that you think is really interesting and comment on that. So its ability to create that classroom community culture where we can really bring students up, I really do value that as well.